From an engine malfunction sending a small plane free-falling out of the sky and a water tower demolition that nearly went horribly wrong, to a violent hailstorm destroying a man's backyard and a close-range dust devil tearing up some greenhouses. Here are 10 incredible moments that were caught on camera. Mossel Bay is an essential vacation town on South Africa's southern Cape. The shore has been a popular destination for South Africans since the 1930s. Meanwhile, it serves as a rest point between Port Elizabeth and Cape Town for European and Western travelers. Mossel Bay is also a popular skydiving destination for thrill seekers across the globe. But on October 14th of 2021, a group of skydivers got a few more thrills than they bargained for when their plane stalled and began a free fall right as they went to jump. All seems normal as 14 skydivers prepare to jump from 16,000 feet. Our cameraman peers out of the plane, getting a fantastic view of the clouds below. A few divers climb out and grab the railings, but then the plane suddenly banks left. The engine stalls, and the plane enters into freefall. Our cameraman watches as it twists and turns below them, something you're never supposed to see when skydiving. Thankfully, the plane regained control, and our cameraman could regroup with his fellow jumpers. But only 9 skydivers jumped when the plane stalled. There were still 5 jumpers and the pilot left inside. Thankfully, the plane, pilot, and everyone involved safely made it to the ground. Palos de la Frontera is a small town in the Spanish province of Huelva. Nestled in southwestern Spain, Palos is home to only 10,000 people, but it's a city rich with history. Most famously, it's where Christopher Columbus set sail for America in 1492. Now, other than Columbus, Palos usually stays out of the public eye. That is, until December 1st of 2016, when a tornado touched down near some greenhouses. The twister draws closer to the greenhouses as our camera crew enjoys the moment. While it looks like the tornado, or perhaps dust devil, loses a bit of steam, it's still strong enough to lift lightweight tarp and plastic off the ground. The tarps almost look like a swarm of Dementors from Harry Potter flying overhead. The tornado moves deeper into the farm, and the poor greenhouses barely stand a chance. Now, this footage is something of a rarity. You see, tornadoes aren't that common in Spain. When they touch down, they rarely cause more than EF1 intensity damage. Nothing close to the storms in Tornado Valley, USA. According to Mayor Camelo Romero, nobody got hurt in the storm, and most emergency calls were about flooded basements and stuck drivers. Imagine this. You're living in Phoenix, Arizona, and enjoying a relaxing day by the pool. The weather never gets too crazy, and you can always jump in the water if a heat wave rolls through. But then, all of a sudden, golf ball-sized hail starts raining down at a moment's notice. This became a reality for Phoenix residents on October 5th of 2010, when a massive hailstorm developed over the city and caused $3 billion in damage. It looks like the sky is literally falling as our homeowner decides to record this phenomenon.
Well, I figured it would. I said I'm not surprised there aren't more windows busted. That was amazing.
Did this guy build his house next to a busy driving range? Hail relentlessly plummets out of the sky and lands all over the lawn and patio. It rips leaves and small branches off the trees and probably puts a few good dents on the roof. We eventually pan over to the pool to see it's gotten worse. The deep end looks like a violent storm on the open ocean. According to the U.S. National Weather Service in Phoenix, the October 5th storm produced 2 of the 3 largest hail events in Maricopa County history. The hail broke countless windows, dented cars, and destroyed roofs. The storm sent home and business owners into a contractor booking frenzy. Meanwhile, insurance adjusters scrambled to ensure the claims were accurate. By the storm's end, Arizona ranked number 1 among U.S. states with the most insured property losses in 2010. The Canadian National Railway is made up of over 20,000 miles of track spanning across Canada and down to New Orleans. At one point, it passes through Salisbury in New Brunswick, Canada, a small village with just enough people to be considered a town under Canadian law. As expected, a thick blanket of snow covered the town in February of 2015. Darren Gordon was on break from his day job when he spotted the train coming down the tracks. He knew the opportunity for viral footage was too good to pass up. The lead train car tears through the snow like a hot knife through butter. Soon, the train creates a massive snow wall that almost blocks it from sight. The train finally emerges and lays on its horn to warn passing cars. It smashes through the snow barrier and covers Darren in a wave of snow. He has since admitted that he was probably too close to the train when it passed. He could have been in grave danger if it derailed. Darren's video went viral, racking up almost 2 million views in a matter of days. Kunming City is the political, cultural, and economic center of Yunnan Province in China. Most of Yunnan's big businesses host their HQs in Kunming City, making it a hotspot for new construction projects. Sometimes, those builders get too far ahead of themselves. They draw up these grand plans, start building, and then run out of money. That's what happened to 15 unfinished Kunming skyscrapers, leading to their demise on August 27th of 2021. Tall buildings stretch as far as the eye can see. Then, 15 of them topple in a matter of seconds. The controlled demolition forced them to fall in different directions, thus avoiding any collisions. 2 buildings on the right side hung on for a few seconds, and one in the center simply refused to fall. Perhaps the most impressive part is the massive cloud of dirt and dust. According to Vice, these buildings stood unfinished for 7 years before Kunming tore them down. They were part of a rapid urban development plan that created what some critics called ghost cities. Local governments sold the land and private developers bit off more than they could chew, or build. In the end, it took 45 seconds to destroy a project 10 years into the making. Oh, and that last stubborn building finally fell 3 days later. About 20 miles north of Dallas, Texas, sits the city of Plano. With almost 300,000 people, Plano is a busy city with plenty of room for development. In March of 2006, they opened the first luxury Walmart, which is a normal supercenter selling $500 wine and high-end electronics. There's also a sushi bar. To make more room for commercial development in 2015, demolition crews set their sights on a 30-year-old water tower off Route 121. They tipped the 178-foot structure, but one worker got a little too close for comfort. This video is all about perspective. As the tower falls, it looks like it's about to flatten the pickup truck and the guy standing next to it. But upon impact, we see that they were standing a safe distance away. The Plano Tower went up in 1985, but was officially decommissioned in 2010. The plan was to build a shopping and residential area, and in June of 2017, the Legacy West Shopping Center opened its doors to the public. Legacy West includes 415,000 square feet of commercial space and 1,300 apartments, making it the lifestyle center of Plano, Texas. You may have never heard of Promontory, Utah, but the piece of high ground in Box Elder County is an essential part of American history. It's where the Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroads met in May of 1869, when Leland Sanford drove the last Golden Spike, officially completing the first transcontinental U.S. railroad. But Promontory has come a long way since 19th century railroads. In the 21st century, it serves as a testing location for NASA rockets. On August 31st of 2010, a crowd gathered to watch as they tested their new Ares 1 engine. Immediately after ignition, the unfathomable power became stunningly obvious.
3, 2, 1, fire.
Three, 2, 1, fire. The Ares 1 rocket blasts a massive fireball into the hill behind it. For you Dragon Ball Z fans, it looks like Goku launching a powerful Kamehameha wave. The rocket fires consistently for 2 minutes and 15 seconds before all the fuel burns off. All that's left is a massive cloud of smoke and a group of happy scientists. This rocket was developed by Alliant Tech Systems, or ATK, and could produce about 3.6 million pounds of thrust at launch. Ares 1 was part of the Constellation program and would serve as the eventual launch vehicle. However, President Obama pulled the plug in October of 2010, and Ares 1 never got off the ground. Still, the show was exciting while it lasted. On April 28th of 2019, a violent wildfire roared through Tambovka village in Russia. A group of criminals started the blaze, which spread for miles through the grasslands. High above the flames, a Far Eastern stork built their nest on a metal electrical tower. Before the fire, a Russian wildlife agency installed a camera to record the endangered stork family. They captured a heartbreaking time-lapse as the fire ravaged the ground below. Thankfully, none of the storks or babies got hurt. The stork just watches as the fire moves from left to right. At one point, it gets up and paces around, clearly nervous and confused about what's happening. It can definitely feel the intense heat when the fire is right underneath. Sadly, wildfires like these destroy several stork nests every year. As one of the rarest birds in Russia, locals do everything they can to protect the Far Eastern stork. If Queens, New York were its own city, it would be the fourth most populous city in the United States, between Houston and Chicago. Queens is also the most linguistically diverse place on Earth, with 138 languages spoken in the borough. But every language has its share of colorful curse words. On August 1st of 2011, Mike Akers was recording a hailstorm at his parents' house when a lightning bolt forced him to scream a few of his favorite swears.
Holy f***! I felt the f***ing shockwave from that. I felt the shockwave.
That was close.
And I got that on film. Oh my god.
Mike's lawn looks more like a driving range as baseball-sized hail pelts the grass outside. He probably thought it was wise to park under the tree, but that's exactly where a bolt of lightning strikes, sending Mike running back inside. After a handful of expletives, Mike focuses back on the tree and we see bark and wooden debris scattered among the hail. Mike claims that he felt the shockwave from the lightning's sonic boom. When lightning strikes, it superheats the air to 50,000 degrees. This creates a massive sonic boom, also known as thunder. Mike got the rare opportunity to feel thunder rather than hear it, but we imagine he'd rather not do it again. Neil Armstrong is a decorated pilot, an aeronautical engineer, and the first person to walk on the moon. Unless you think Kubrick faked it. But conspiracy theories aside, nobody can deny that Neil Armstrong is an American hero. But one close call almost ended Neil's space adventure for good. On May 6th of 1968, Neil was test flying the Lunar Landing Research Vehicle, or the LLRV. He had already piloted the LLRV 20 times before. He knew it like the back of his hand. But this time, a mechanical malfunction caused him to lose control. At first, Neil looks like he's in complete control of the machine. He eventually comes in for a landing, or what we assume was a landing, and then takes off again. Perhaps this is where something malfunctioned. Either way, Armstrong is forced to eject 200 feet above the ground and open his chute immediately. The LLRV lands in a ball of fire as Neil parachutes safely down to Earth. The LLRV was meant to replicate the moon's gravity, which is only a sixth as powerful as Earth's. In fact, Armstrong often referred to the training vehicles as risky but useful. But all of his training paid off, and Armstrong landed his LLRV on the moon's surface on July 20th of 1969. If you want to see another video just like this one, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.